This is One on One. We are honored to be joined by Gladys Grauer, who is an artist, and she just happens to be known as the mother of Newark's African-American art community, and also happens to be 92 years young, which must mean there's a misprint. Is that correct?
No, it's correct.
It's correct?
It's correct.
And you also are the mother of the African-American art community. Why is that?
Well, that wasn't exactly how I started. I just started out to have an art gallery. It ended up being an African-American art gallery because that's who came to the gallery.
But you're also the first that we know of, the first African-American volunteer here at the Newark Museum. Why are you laughing? That's true.
I'm just happy, that's all.
But back in 1971, you started a gallery.
Yes.
Describe it.
It was in the South Ward on Bergen and Lyons Avenue. And it was a store that was vacant. I had wanted to open a gallery, and it just so happened that this fit, and I decided to open a gallery. But I had no business sense. So I opened the gallery so I would have some place to paint. My house was 4 children, 3 dogs, and not much chance of doing artwork. So if I opened a gallery, then I could go down to the gallery every day.
And what happened?
And what happened is I opened a gallery not knowing that there was a real need for a gallery in Newark. And I opened the gallery, and artists from Jersey City, from East Orange, Montclair, they start all African-American artists because there was not much exhibiting space for them. And one story is Ani Struther said he was riding by on his bicycle, and he saw something, he said, art gallery. And he said, art gallery? So he rode around the block, and he came back, and he came in. And Ben Jones, it was just phenomenal, really.
All kinds of people gravitated,
yes,
came to your gallery.
Yes.
It became a place for African-American artists to feel comfortable, exactly, to show their work.
Yes, and to interact with each other and to make plans. It became a very close-knit group of about 30, 40 people.
Now, you came to us through our good friend, Tony Antoinette Richardson, who works with us in our Stand and Deliver program, yes, who is an artist in her own right, as an educator and an educational leader. Did you know back then that you were a real leader, a trailblazer?
No.
No, you're already telling me no. Come on, you knew you were doing something special in the arts community.
I didn't then. As I look back, you have to realize we were so busy doing things. We were busy organizing a women's art group, and that's a very interesting part because, as I say, I was a mother with 4 children, 3 dogs, a house, and a husband, and little time for artwork. When I opened the gallery, and these young women artists came in, some of them were teachers, and they weren't really painting, but they were artists, and Alita Caldwell had the first exhibit there, and I had to really coax her. Mm. Then Nettie Thomas had an exhibit there, Janet Pickett, and at this point I realized that with women, you have your house, your husband, your children, your job, and they were teachers also. So they had their jobs, and there wasn't much time for artwork. And that's how we formed the Women's Art Group.
The Women's Art Group?
It was actually called Black Woman in Visual Perspective.
Was it a sisterhood, per se? Were you really together?
Yes.
Helping each other?
That's what we did. How do you work it? We decided we would have 4 exhibits a year. And for each exhibit, you must have at least 2 new pieces in the exhibit, which means you had to paint. You had to make art. No matter what your other duties were, this was your 5th duty, is to produce some art.
Can I ask you about some of your work, the work that really stands out for you?
That one is,
It says Lighthouse Community Services.
all right then, that is my homeless,
Is that where the Lighthouse shelter that
Yeah.
I know of?
yeah, on.
The Reverend Parrott?
On Washington
Yeah, of
Street.
course I
Yeah.
know it well.
Yeah.
You
people
decided
used-
that because people would line up
They would
looking
line
to get
up
for
there
food
every
because
day.
they were homeless.
Yes. And
For
they,
a place to
lunch.
sleep, a place to eat and get.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
So what made you do that?
You see the fellow with the dreadlocks?
Yes?
He's a guy that used to roam around. You know, Newark has some very interesting people roaming around. And he was one that I used to see frequently walking around with all his stuff wrapped on. I have several pieces with people.
Could you put up another one? Put up another one if you have one. What is this?
Oh, that was the Festival of People. I don't remember which year it was. I think it was 87 or something like that.
What connected
That was
for
a
you
poster. Pardon?
What connected for you there, the Festival of People?
Well, they asked me to do a poster.
Oh, it was commissioned?
Yes, for the festival, and in that I tried to get every phase of Newark.
Let me ask you this. Art, for you. You are, as I said, 92 years young. Were you born to be an artist?
I think I was. I don't know how. I don't do anything else better. I do that best.
But you also organize.
Yes, I did, but
Well, no, you've organized in the past.
yes.
You've inspired.
If you'd asked me if I was going to be an organizer, I would have said no. I didn't know that I could do that.
Or lead. You led.
I didn't know that I could lead. I didn't know people would follow me. I just had ideas, and I passed them on. I shared them.
Okay, but I have to ask you this. What are one of the keys? What's the key to great leadership? You did it.
Respect for other people. You have to love people. You have to want to do things with people.
You've always been involved, haven't you?
Yes.
Because? Why are you always involved?
Let's look at it this way. I'm a product of the Depression and the South Side of Chicago. And Chicago, as you know, is a very involved city. And I come from a family which was, let's say, second generation from slavery, but they read. And I heard all kinds of discussions in my house. One I remember very strongly is when Mussolini went into Ethiopia, and my mother and my uncle having this horrible, horrible argument, which he thought it was justified because they were just running around with little bows and arrows anyway. And my mother was objection because they are people, and et cetera. And I heard these things all through my, it was in my household.
You had to be involved.
That my family was interested in what went on outside of the household.
What's the message you want to leave with everybody right now, particularly young artists?
The message that they should, in Newark, I'm going to deal with
Go ahead.
Newark.
A few seconds left. Go ahead.
Because Newark is has an atmosphere for artists. If you think about all the artists that have come out of Newark, Newark Arts High School was the first arts school, secondary school in the country.
Stay with us a few seconds, folks.
The art school, which was above Newark, the school, was the first post-secondary free art school in the country. The message is, do what you were born to do. For artists, continue to work and to give.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us on public television. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence.
And by the Newark Museum.
In cooperation with NJTV. N13 for WNET.
Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at Newark Museum has been provided by
Bank of America, PSE&G, Cone Resnick, University Hospital, Newark, New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department,
and by the North Ward Center.
Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.